Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a spring nail set using dip powder. So this dip powder kit I got is from Amazon and it's by the brand Modelones. It comes with 20 dip powders and a bunch of other stuff, pretty much everything you'll need. So it comes with a little thing that shows you other stuff you can buy from them. And then it has a dip powder user manual that shows you how to, step by step do dip powder if you're new to it. Comes with a couple extra brush heads. And it comes with all 4 dip liquids. It also comes with a dust brush for, dusting off the excess powder. Comes with 2 different nail files, buffers. So that was nice there to have those. And it also came with the cuticle oil. Not many dip powder kits I can say come with the cuticle oil, so that was nice. And then it comes with a metal spatula. There's the 4 dip liquids there. One of them is a brush saver. So we'll just go ahead and show all the different dip powders. Since there's 20 different ones, it would take a really long time to, make swatches for all of them. So I just figured I would just show them. Right there is a black and white, by the way. So I thought that was kind of nice. And then there's lots of nude colors. And then there's some different pops of color, like this teal one here. And a transparent. This light pink. And then some more neutrals, a little bit darker ones. So you could have kind of a plum, a little bit darker rose, one with glitter, gray, a kind of yellow or gold. And so there's just really a lot of different pretty colors in here. Another nude, a dark brown, a bright red, a hot pink color, and then this really pretty electric blue color. So now I'm going to go ahead and get some nail tips put on, and I'm just showing you what I use there and how I get the tips put on. I do already have on a peel base coat, so I'm just going to, since regular nail glue doesn't really stick when I use base coat for some reason, I'm just using this 6-in-1 gel glue. And I really like this one because you don't have to hold your nail under the light for a long time. It pretty much instantly sets in like 2 seconds, just enough for you to see if it's going to be straight or not, and then you can put it back in. So now I'm going to get the nails prepped, and what I like to do is apply an acid-free primer just on the nail tip, the fake nail tip. I feel like if I don't do that, or at least buff the surface of the nail tip, it'll be too slick and the first layer of dip powder won't even stick. Some people maybe don't have that problem, but this is what always works for me. And so I found that if I really rough the brush in on the nail, it makes more little textures and I get a lot better stick. So I'm just getting everything ready now that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use 3 different dip colors. So one is a light peachy color nude. The other one is a plum color. I did swatch this one beforehand. It looks a lot darker than it does when it's dry in the pot. And another one is this teal color, and this one also looks a little bit darker than it does in the pot right there. The nude one though looks pretty true to color the way it does in the pot. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to get out the step 1, which is the dip base. And I'm going to be applying a really thick layer since the nails I'm choosing to use are a little bit longer. I didn't cut them too short. And I'm just gonna go from my cuticle all the way down to the edge. Apply a nice thick layer just so that it doesn't dry too quickly. And I did notice that this dip liquid dries a lot slower than the last Modelones dip liquid I used. That was a 2-in-1. And so since I'm going to do an ombre on this nail, I'm taking one of the brushes. That's why I have two there for the two different colors. I'm taking one of the brushes and I'm just going to gently sprinkle it over the bottom half of the nail. And I'm going to put a lot at first towards the edge and then a lighter amount in the middle. And then I'm going around the cuticle area and the rest of the nail with this nude color. And so again, I'm just kind of, you can't really tell, but I'm kind of scooping my brush in there to get a really thick amount up by the cuticle area. And then I'm just gonna gently, lightly sprinkle it down towards the middle of the nail to try to get an ombre. And I'm then gonna take the cuticle stick and just rub around the edges of my cuticle just to make sure there's no little pieces of powder or liquid that's gonna be touching my skin, and that way it looks really neat. And you can see it's looking pretty good and smooth so far. So, and I'm not gonna brush this off till after I'm done with all of them. I found the longer I let the powder sit on there, it makes it smoother and I don't get any lumps or anything. Not too bad anyways. So now I'm gonna move on to the next nail. And this nail, I'm gonna be using that same plum color, but I'm not gonna do an ombre. I'm just gonna do this whole nail, one solid color. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and dust off this first nail we did with the ombre. And since I'm gonna be using that teal color later on, I wanna finish up using the purple color for now. That way I don't get too much different colors on my brush, on the one brush. So I'm just dusting that off really good. You still can kind of see the line of where I glued on the nail tip, but we're not worried about that right now because it won't really show later on. So we're gonna go ahead and do the second layer of ombre on this nail, and I'm gonna do pretty much the exact same thing as the first time. So I'm just putting on a really thick layer of that base coat on, making sure I get it up against the cuticles really good, all the way to the edge. And you can't really tell in the video, but on the sides of the nail, on the very sides, on the corners, the base must have dried already, or if it was too thin or something. So I'm just making sure I make an extra thick coat this time. That way it doesn't really dry up. But otherwise, this dip liquid stays wet for a long time. So I'm doing the same exact thing as I did the first time. I'm just scooping my brush in. I'm getting a thick amount of powder to do the edge with. And then I'm gonna lightly sprinkle it up towards the middle of the nail where that ombre is at. And I'm just gonna keep doing that. Now I'm gonna go in with the next color, which is that nude, and same exact thing as before. I'm gonna sprinkle a thick amount up on the cuticle, and then I'm gonna fade it down a little bit lighter towards the middle of the nail. And I'm just gonna get as much as I can on there so that it absorbs a lot of the powder. And you can see as I'm fading it down, it's actually, I kind of made some harsh lines on accident. So we'll fix that in a minute here. I'm just gonna wipe around my cuticle. Even though it might not look like there's any liquid there, you know, there still could be. So I just found that if I wipe around the cuticle every single time, every single layer I do, I get a really clean cuticle and there's not a whole lot of filing, because I don't like having to file too much up against my cuticle or I will tear my skin apart. Yeah, I don't know, my skin is just really thin. So I'm gonna go ahead and dust off this next nail. and do another layer of dip on this one. Just another really thick coat again of the same one color. So now that I have this layer dusted off, you can still see that those really harsh lines of the ombre that I attempted to do didn't come out that smooth this time. So what I'm gonna do to fix that, I'm just showing you there that harsh line. What I'm gonna do to fix that is just dip in to some of that darker color, and I'm just gonna really mash it in, and it will, like, even though it's completely dry at this point, the new powder is going to kind of mesh in between the particles of the powder that's dried, and you can see it's already starting to fade it a little bit better and make that area darker, where, and you know, just kind of disguise that line. And so right now you can still see the line a little bit, but what you're seeing is the top layer is a little bit raised, if that makes sense, but the actual line is disguised. But when I put the clear coat on later on, that will be completely gone, and it will be a completely seamless blend. But yeah, it's just looking better and better the more that I add in there. And so if you ever run into that problem, that is a way that you can fix it. There's even some people that do their ombres strictly like that, just by taking a color and just mashing it and brushing it over. So there's how those two nails are looking, very pretty. And I do like that this color, I like how it came out. I was hoping it would have been a little brighter like it is in the pot, but I do actually really love the color that it came out to be, kind of a dark plum. And so I'm going to be doing the exact same thing on these next two nails. I'm going to do the teal color in an ombre with that same nude. And then on my pinky finger, I'm going to be doing that solid nail, that whole color. So I'm going to let you guys watch that for a minute, and then I'm going to come back when it's time for the next step. All right, I'm back. So here's how everything is looking so far. It looks so good. Every single time I do dip powder, it just gets easier and easier. And I'm no expert or anything. So next, I am gonna go in with the activator. And what this does is just dry everything down and make sure everything is fully hardened and dried. And I'm doing this after 2 layers, okay? After 2 layers. I found that if I put it on the activator after doing 3 layers, for some reason that extra third layer, it just can't penetrate all the way through and it takes forever to dry. So I am doing this on all the nails after the second layer on each nail. Okay, so I'm gonna give that like a minute or two to dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that transparent. So in this kit, there was a white dip powder and a transparent one. And you can tell which one it is. If you do purchase this kit, you can tell which one it is because on the side of it, it says transparent. So I'm just going to do a thick layer of the transparent to fully seal in my ombre. That way, when I'm doing my filing and shaping, I don't accidentally buff off the ombre that it took me oh so hard to perfect because I had to go back in and add powder. So I'm just going back in with that base, and then I'm just going to do a layer of transparent over each nail. Even on the 2 nails that are just that full solid color, I'm doing a layer of transparent over them also so that all the nails are the same thickness. All right, now here is how everything is looking once I've dusted off the clear coat. And I'm gonna go in a second time with the activator so that way the clear coat gets fully sealed and hardened up too. And then come back after I've done that. All right, I did go in off camera and file and shape all the nails. I didn't have a whole lot to do, so it didn't take that long, which really shows me that like I'm really getting so much better at using dip powder. Like it really used to be such a struggle for me, but now it's like so much easier and it's just crazy. So anyways, after you file and shape, you want to go back in with another layer of activator, and it just seals in everything. It makes sure everything is still fully dry. It also cleans up all the extra dust that you've added from filing. And now I am actually going to try and hand paint on some of those little white daisy flowers that if you've been on Instagram, you'll see everybody is doing those. So I'm just gonna take some white paint and I'm going to attempt to do some of those. All right, I'm back. I ended up having to do a lot of the flowers off camera because they were really hard for me to do. But they don't look perfect, but I think you get the idea of what the look is, right? So I did go ahead and cure those in the lamp because they were gel polish. So now that those are cured, I'm gonna go ahead and take the top coat and I'm just gonna top coat it just like if there was no gel polish there with the dip top coat. And so, with the dip top coat, you do one thin layer and you just want to do it really smooth. You can't go over and over it because it starts getting sticky and stringy. So I'm just gonna do 2 layers of the dip top coat on each nail and then it'll be all finished. That's what it's looking like after the first coat. And this is what it looks like after the second top coat. And I did add a couple little diamonds with this on top of the second layer of top coat so that they could dry down. And this is what it's looking like, you guys. I think they look so pretty. They look so spring. I got some cuticle oil on there now, so they ain't crusty no more. But I think it's so cute. Like, even though the flowers aren't perfect, even though the ombre wasn't perfect, I think they really look so cute. And this is dip powder. Let me know what you guys think about this set, if you enjoyed watching this process. If you think this Model 1's kit is something that you would try, just let me know your thoughts. I really enjoyed doing this set, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one.